Hi everyone, welcome back to another video. Today I do not have a project to share with you. However, I do have a review on these colored pencils. These are the Schpirerr, I'm not really sure how to pronounce it, Farben colored pencil set. You can buy this on Amazon. I will have a link down in the description box below. But I seen these and I was looking at different colored pencils options. It's my favorite way to color. These are oil-based colored pencils, which I've never tried before. I wanted to give it a shot, and these come at a really great price point. They are sold on Amazon for $32.17 for the 72 pack. Now there is no open stock available. This is the only set you can buy. It is a newer company, so that's probably why you can only buy in the 72 set. So let's go ahead and take a look at how these come. They come in this nice little tin. Mine came packaged just like you see here. I have played with them, but I kept everything as it was, so I would know how to put it back each and every time so you could get a good idea of how it came. It also comes with this little sheet from, I'm guessing, the owner of the company, Tanya, but it's just got a little note in there. It's also got their Facebook, Instagram, and another, I believe, their website down there. It also has a little sheet to just protect the pencils, and then you've got 3 different levels of colored pencils in here. Now mine came ordered. I didn't have to go in and put these in order of the numbers. So you have this first set, which goes from a white to a red. Then you've got a little bit of red there, but mostly pinks, purples, and blues. And then finally on my last one, if I can get these out, it is easier without nails to get these out, I promise. I've used these since. But then you've got greens, browns, grays, and a black down there on the very bottom. Now once you get these all out, you do have this nice little tin that they all come in and stack in very nicely. On the back of this, that's where all your information is. Artist grade quality, premium pigments, bright vivid colors, color number on the pencil, oil-based lead 3.3 millimeters, creamy texture, non-toxic. These are made in China too, by the way. So let's take a closer look at these pencils. How you see is exactly how they come. They've got this gold top and then the color indicator there on the bottom half of the pencil. The color indicator, I would say, is not true to the colors. However, I went ahead and made a swatch sheet, and they do have a swatch sheet for free that you can print from their website. Now on each pencil, it has the name of the company. It also has the name of the pencil color itself, and it also has a number that coordinates with it. There's a closer look at that pencil. Also, let's go ahead and take a closer look. There you can see you've got it in a nice silver color, very easy to read, and it's very large on there. So here's magenta, number 250. That number is to order them, and it also coordinates on your little swatch sheet as well, so really easy to go by color numbers with the system they have. Here's another look at another one, and then these also come pre-sharpened to a nice point. I like to have a really nice point on mine, so I sharpen these to begin with anyway. Now, before I go any further into this review, I do want to mention my review is based on a card maker's experience. That is what I do. I am not an artist. If you want an artist's professional opinion on this, this isn't the review for you, but you can find those on YouTube as well. So I swatched each one of mine out. I like to do that just so I don't struggle finding colors, and I can coordinate colors to go together and match them to ink colors I have as well. So this swatch sheet is available on their website to print off. I printed it on my laser printer, trimmed it up so it fits nice and tight inside that little tin that it came in. I blended on the right side with a little bit of Gamsol. The color on the left is straight from the pencil. Now here's a closer look at all the different colors, but I do want to take you through each little color family, or each little tray here, I guess you could say. So on the first tray, you start off with your white, then you go through your yellows and then your peaches and a little bit of pink in there, then your oranges and reds. I would personally love to see more reds in this and maybe a few less yellows. I think the yellows are pretty close and similar to each other, but that's just my opinion. Now on your second tray, you've got some pinks, you've got some purpley pinks and purples and bluish purples, and then your blues. Again, I would like to see more lighter blues in that, but again, just my opinion. Finally, your last tray, you've got a lot of greens actually. A few browns. I would love to see more browns and grays in this. Normally, I am one that says I would love less grays, but I would like to see more grays, and you've got a little bit of black there down at the very bottom too. So here's a look at all the different colors. You can see a variety of shades. Those opinions about the colors in this set are mine and mine alone, and just my personal style of coloring with my card making itself. But blending out with Gamsol also gives me a lot of different options to kind of create my own colors too. So I went ahead and stamped and masked off this little scene, added a little bit of a background here. This was a card I did for Joy Claire Stamps for their new release, and I'm just going to color this in. Now I'm going to go ahead and start off a little zoomed out here, but I will zoom you in here in just a moment. This is going to just be testing these out, coloring them, blending them together without any Gamsol or anything on this. I personally love to use Gamsol with my colored pencils. That's how I normally color. I'm not the most patient person in the world to blend these out myself, so that really helps me in that regard. So I chose a little two different colors of browns here, and I'm just going to color in this table. I'm starting off with the light hand circular motions and then just coming in with my lighter color and blending that out. I want to mention as I'm coloring this and as you watch these blend together that I have used these previously from this card. I've used them quite a bit. I always test things out before I actually bring them and review them on my channel. And I've used them with my OMS, my Gamsol, blending it out with my blending stumps. I want to say that these do have a smell to them. These are oil-based pencils, and whenever you use your OMS, I think the smell intensifies a little bit. I've had migraines since I was a little girl. Smells can make me really nauseous too. These didn't do that to me. It's just kind of that oil-based smell that you smell with these, but nothing too awfully potent. I also work in a small workspace, so that might have had something to do with it. But while I was just using these by themselves without the OMS, I didn't have any of that smell that I could pick up anyway. So I'll go ahead and continue blending this. I'm just using a bunch of different colors here and really just seeing how these go on the paper and blend together. Like I said, I have continued to use these as well, so you will be seeing these in upcoming videos. If you want to see how these work with OMS too, be sure to stop on by in a few weeks, maybe next week. I'm not sure when the video is going to go up exactly, but I do have a video coming up using these and blending these out on quite a few different cards actually. So I'm going to continue to use these and blend these out. I wanted to use these colored pencils on this particular card for this scene because I could use quite a few different colors. So I'm using some yellows here, and again I'm referring back over to that swatch sheet to pick out these colors because I have to say that although they're close, I don't think the colors on the bottom of these colored pencils match up really well to what they come off as on paper. That's my opinion again, but I don't think they do. So if you do end up buying these and you want to use these, I would highly suggest printing off that swatch sheet and swatching out these colors so you're not wasting a lot of time swatching them off each and every time you use them. Here's another reason that I love to use a swatch sheet. So I went ahead and made this background and I used a little bit of ink to blend on that purple. I needed a color that was going to match up to that background for those little bits of masking that I just didn't want to cut out. I didn't want to fussy cut them out. So what I did was I just left them white, and then I'll go ahead and bring in a pencil, and I match that pencil with my swatch sheet to the color of the ink. I can fill in all those white spaces. It's going to look just like I ink blended, and I did all of that masking, but it took literally a few seconds with the right shade of pencil to match that. But you can see here that that purple looks nothing like the end of that purple on the pencil, or it doesn't to me anyway. So I would highly suggest, again, swatching those out so you've got another option on using that swatch sheet to really help you whenever you're designing your cards the way I do. I'll continue to blend these out. I wanted to use quite a few different colors on those books up there, plus they're really small spaces, so that gives me a nice chance to kind of really work with these pencils and see how much I can layer up on top of each other and how well they blend together in those small itty-bitty spaces where I don't have a whole lot of room to work, and they work surprisingly well. I'm going to go ahead and keep referring over to that swatch sheet and to pick out my colors and to color coordinate them together. This is what works for me whenever I go in and design my cards. I'm using some darker blues. I have a lot of trouble blending out blues normally. I don't know why, but maybe it's just me, but I do. These blended out really, really nicely for me though, and it didn't take a whole lot of effort on my part. These pencils really did the job well and quickly, which I love. I've got a few more colors I'm going to go ahead and pick here to fill in all those books up there at the top. I wanted to use a nice variety to see how they all played well, or to see how they all played. I went ahead and chose some really dark purples. Again, I have trouble blending those out. Maybe it's just like the blues and purples category that I have trouble with, but these blended out really nicely. I didn't have any trouble with them at all. I'm going to go ahead and pick out a few more colors here and just continue to fill those in. Now, one thing I like to do whenever I'm coloring scenes like this, I like to use these same colors across the whole scene. So you can see when I'm using purples, I went ahead and used it on my background. I'm using it on a few books. I'm going to go ahead and use blues on not only the books, but also on the chair. I've got these pinks that I'm throwing in here, and I'm going to use them on not only one, but 3 books. That way I have these colors all the way across the card, and I'm not just throwing in a color right at the last second, like a green out of nowhere. I like to keep a nice focus combination. So I'm finishing up with some yellows on those tags and then some grays. I use gray on the floor, so I'll bring that up to the top in some of those tags on the books or labels on the books. I'm also bringing in a little bit of brown on those labels as well, which I used on the table and chair too. So there is a nice little look at that all finished and ready to go. I love the way this turned out. I love the way these pencils work. They were fast to color with, which I love, but they gave me that nice blended look. There's a nice picture of it too. The browns I probably could have spent a little bit more time on, but I wasn't mad at it. I mean, they did really, really well. I also wanted to try these out on craft paper and black cardstock too, which I love to use colored pencils on these 2 mediums. I use Stays On Pigment ink in the snowflake color. The black, it didn't cover up as much as I wanted it to. I would definitely go with my wax-based Prismacolors if I was going to color on black. I don't think these did the job on the black cardstock. However, I do think they did their job on the craft cardstock. Again, I used the same Stays On Pigment ink and Snowflake, and I colored up this quick flower on a die cut very quickly. This turned out beautifully. These layered really nicely on the craft cardstock. I didn't spend a whole lot of time blending. I just wanted to see what kind of coverage I could get with this, but even the yellow worked really nicely on top of the craft cardstock, so I would definitely reach for these for that purpose. Just the black, I'm going to go ahead and stick with my wax-based. I think they give a better result. So let's go ahead and do pros and cons. Let's start with the bad first and end with the good. Cons: this is a new company. They are not sure on the light fastness of these. So if you want your projects to last a long time, or if you need them to be okay out in the sun, you might have some trouble with that. Nobody really knows yet. I would suggest going over to the Facebook page where people have posted some of their light fast test results that they've done on their own, if that is a concern for you. Myself personally, that's not a huge deal because I don't expect people to keep my cards forever. If they want to toss them, fine, so be it. Also, there is no open stock of these. If you run out of one color, you're out of that color. You have to buy a whole 72 pack. Now that could change. This is a newer brand. So as the company grows, as it expands, you're taking that risk. Are they going to offer that open stock, or they could also just completely shut down? It's a new company. You're always taking that risk with that. There are also only 72 colors. That's all the colors you have to choose from. So if you need more than that, you're going to have to substitute in other brands. I personally, 72 is enough for me, but that could be a problem for you. It just depends on the way you craft and on the way you color. Okay, so there's the cons. Let's go on to the pros. The things I like about these. The price, for sure. At $33, great, especially for oil-based pencils that work really nicely. Yes, they work great. I love that I can buy them from Amazon because you get the prime shipping on these. You don't have to pay for it. You know, you get your 2-day shipping. So I love that these are available on Amazon. If you are out of the United States, I'm not sure if they are available to you. That would be something I would love to hear from you if you guys try to go and buy these and you are not in the US. If they are available to you and if they are available, or what the shipping costs are, I guess I should say, overseas. Now, another thing I love about this is the swatch sheet. Most of my swatch sheets I have to go in and make myself. I don't love to do that. It takes a lot of time. So I love that I could go in, print this off, and I've got it ready to go. And I can print it off as many times as I need to. It's not a big deal if I end up spilling something on it. I don't have to go and redo it and spend a whole bunch of time, again, of my own, creating my own. So that's another thing I love about these. Personally, I just love that these are an oil-based pencil. I got to try them out. I love the way they work, and I was able to do it within my price point, my budget. So that is awesome. I would recommend these, especially if you are a card maker like myself, and you're looking to try out an oil-based pencil. These are great. I love them. I'm going to leave a link to them down in the description box below. I do want to say also, I bought these myself, 100% my own money. These weren't sent to me or anything. So this is all coming straight from me. That is going to do it for me today. I want to thank you guys for watching, and happy crafting, everyone.